Okay, so I'm having some serious realizations regarding this twin flame journey, some serious downloads. One thing that I realized is that everything that he says touches me at a way deeper level than had anyone else said it. It like goes through all of the layers all the way to the core, whatever it is. And it has so many different meanings as it goes, reflecting all of the layers. It goes through all of the layers and reflects. And so everything that they say has a topical meaning, but we can also feel the energy of what they're saying. So it also has like this much deeper meaning. It touches us all the way to the core. That means that it has to go through all of the levels of our being. And that is why every single part, imagine like if something is coming through, you have to be in alignment for it to come all the way through to the core. I imagine it like as your core is a ball of light, and these words come all the way into the light. And along the way, they are going through all of the shields, all of the layers of whatever it is that we build on top of it. It's like pushing right through it. And slowly it breaks our whole outer shell to where we are pure light. But as it goes, you know, as it breaks, it's the deeper the deeper it goes in the cleansing of ourselves and this purifying process, it gets to what's really holding on, the things that have more power. And that's why it becomes so painful, because it's like we are ripping our outer shell off of us, which is the ego, losing our ego, where we are coming back into our pure light. You could see it kind of like their words are kind of like arrows hitting a target. They go through our entire being and touch the core. So everything that they say to us that's why we really have to watch our words. We have to make sure, because our words have power in them, you know, on this journey. Just like their words touch us, our words touch them. And if we're sloppy with our words, we could just shoot out just, you know, random arrows all over the place and not have it controlled, like exactly what we're saying. Keep it very precise. You know, if we start, you know, a lot of times when we feel hurt, then we lash out, and our, you know, you know, the lashing out is like, oh yeah, well, what about this or that? You know how we, you know, when it's not in the, you know, it's not acknowledging, it's more like trying to fend them off with counter arrows. And remember that it's going all the way through to the light. So that can be super painful. And somebody that is not ready to get that will take off running. See, there's so many layers to this, because that's one layer, right? But then there's another layer to it that is we're one energy. And so when one part pushes this way, the other one pulls. It's like it's like two blobs of energy, right? That are like, imagine them like jello blobs, right? And when they collide, there's, I don't know if the jello thing works on this. It's like two universes colliding and then doing like this collision course. It's like the energy or like two droplets of water that come together, and then for a while their particles have to combine somehow. And in order for that to happen, all of the outer shell has to break free. Let's say there's two balls of water, right, with an outer shell. And when they collide, that whole outer shell, but they're drawn to each other. And they can either keep on going around in that loop, like two universes that their gravity pull keeps them, going around in circles around each other. Or each part can relax. And imagine if they're going around and one part starts relaxing, the other one starts losing its, right? If one can't slow down without the other one slowing down. It's like think of it as like two things going around each other. One starts slowing itself down, the other one has to fall in line. And then there's the 3D level where you're in your ego completely. And then it's like being in the outer shell. Like you can choose to live your life wherever you want. You can choose to live it in the outer shell, like the defensive. And you could choose to be like the skin, which is the offensive, like the one that won't let anything in. And then there's so many different layers to it, and it gets back to the pure ball of light, which is what we are. Like those two universes colliding and all the outer shells break free in order for the cores to combine. Something like that. And then in the 3D mode, it's like, I'm so hurt. I'm in pain, feeling like you're apart from a different being than them, wanting to physically chase them. Like there's so many different layers and so many different ways to look at this, and so many different storylines too. There's like the storyline that he's there and I'm here and he doesn't want to see me. And I'm chasing after him, so we see each other all the time. And it's kind of like a story like, I don't even know. It's like weird. It's like, I don't even know. It's like he's coming. And then there's the storyline that I'm drawn to him. Like, I'm drawn to him. I can't stop the pull. I can't stop the pull. And I feel like on his end, kind of like he's in control of the pull or push. Like he's controlling it. Almost. Or driving me nuts. See, that's the 3D world. Driving me nuts. He's so complicated. He's so funny. He's so funny. He's like the funniest. He's like funny. Like, I mean funny, but like his jokes are like long and drug out, and they pull you along for a long ways until finally you get it, and then it's just the most hilarious thing in the world. But you really have to get it in yourself. That's why I keep on getting drawn into the connection, because every time I get drawn in, it's hurt, and then a massive lesson and let go, and it's just like hilarious. It's like, and then he'll like, he has like these dry jokes. Like after I come up out of something, right? I'm in agony and this and that, and then I come up out of it, and it's like I look down, and it's like, that is so funny. Like I can see myself getting all caught up in it. Like things that a year ago would have had me like all flipping out. Now it's just kind of like, really? Is that the way you wanted to go about this? Like things with my kids, things with my parents, things, you know, because my parents don't get this. They can't get this because this is just, it's almost unfathomable. It's like, I'm still like, I'm 2 years in and I'm still in shock of this whole twin flame journey. It's like surreal. It's like a connection on this mystical level. And then I have all these like planted ideas in my mind. Wait, is this the twin flame thing? Is he the Messiah? Because I see a lot of other women that seem like they're having the same experience with him to different extents. I haven't seen, I think that I'm the closest to him as a friend wise. And I think that that is important to him too, because otherwise he wouldn't put up with it all. And he has snide remarks too. Like his jokes are like, you can't even retell them because they're so complicated and they're so built on top of like layers and layers and layers. And his jokes, like everything that he says, you could either be offended by or you could think is the most hilarious thing in the world. It depends on like if you're sitting in that love zone where you don't take it personally, you more like you get what they're saying. And then it's also like a lesson with laughter. Like he kind of puts me on and all sorts of things. And like afterwards, I always see that the lesson was so exact, and that in order to really, really, really get the lesson, you have to get the lesson emotionally, not just with your mind. Oh yes, I understand this, and topically look in on it. You really, you know, to really understand something, you have to be able to feel the emotion of it. And that means that you have to be able to feel the extent of all of your emotions. And that's what we're going through. We're going through every single one of our emotions. We're getting, all of the layers are getting broken off. We are going through every single one of our emotions. We're getting to know ourselves completely and wholly. You hear the dog howling? Howling dog. And that means that we get back to pure love. Pure love. Today I realized I was thinking about orgasms and you hear the dog howling? I was thinking how that the man's like semen is like his life. He's giving light of life, and I kind of see it energetically like light, and that in order to give that to his life light to a woman lightly is like, it's like sacred to give your life light to a woman. You need to trust that woman with your life. And in order to you know, that just having sex in order to have the orgasm is so topical. It's so like desecrating something that's sacred. You're giving away your life light to somebody. You're giving away your offspring's potential. You're giving away your seed, your a legacy, what is going, your continuation. You're going to be raising a child with this woman. You know, you better like that woman because you want to bring your best forward. So it's like sacred giving away your, to a woman. And think that you're also, it's like taking a woman, because the male comes into the woman. The woman is like, almost like his. Because in that place, the woman is completely vulnerable. So she also is giving herself to someone, giving him also the power over her, the power to control her emotions as well. Because inside of the vagina are all of the emotions. So there is healing power there. And to give it to somebody that's just coming in and using you, and your soul knows. Your soul knows. You know, you also, you're giving away your own self to someone. And also your I know I'm not talking about all the birth control and all that. I'm talking about the deeper level, the sacred sex. Sacred sex. I like calling it love making. And how did this whole thing come up? This morning I was on a walk, and in the mornings I go when there's still dew out, and the snails are all making love. The snails are, and so I got down to look, I have some pictures. And I got down to really look, and it's amazing. And you can just feel the love from them. And sometimes there's a third one hooked on the side of another one, but they hook together like this. And they each have two of their, I don't know what they're called, barnacles. And then they have this other thing that comes out and attaches into, one thing is long and it goes into a female version of it that also comes out. And they each have one. It's like they're connected in a spiral. And I was thinking, and then when it gets the sun gets up a little bit further, sometimes they come back a little bit later, they're off eating. They're all separate, after the dew. So they do their thing in the morning when the dew's out, when it's early morning, and then they go off and eat. And it was so romantic. And it got me thinking, because then I started thinking, well, that's how they are, they're making love. And it looks loving. It looks really loving. They're both hooked together like this, with their big smushies and their barnacles up looking at each other. And those things going, it's really cool. And I was looking around and I was thinking, everything comes from love. Everything comes from love. That when man and woman love each other, that's where babies come from. That's where life is born from. Life is born of love. That's when the animals, mate, and when the seeds in the ground combine, and it's all love. It's all loving. It's all life-giving. It's all, it's merging. It's beautiful. It's life. It's love. Life comes of love. And then I was thinking, love, this I've known for forever. Love is the language of the world. Love is the language of nature. When you learn how to just be, you are an essence of love. That is your love light. That is your light. Your light is love. It's the language of the world. And we're all connected to the world. So when you come in complete synchronicity, you are of love. But also you have all the sacred knowledge all the way to the divine love. So you have all of the layers that you have shed, you have gained the knowledge of. Because you've gone through yourself completely and shed all the falsities, then you can see through others. You can also shoot arrows. You can see right through to the core. because you've done all of that path within yourself. You can see what is righteous and what is not, just by being of that, purifying yourself. This all comes back to righteousness, becoming right with the one, righteousness. It's like becoming right with nature, becoming in sync with your inner being. That's when when your insides quiet down, is when you become in sync with your own being. When you become in sync with your own being, you also slow that spiral down, because you are coming into place. You're not moving around anymore. You're coming back to ground level. There's so many different ways you can look at this. There's just so many freaking layers to it. I mean, there's so many different ways of looking at it. And there's so many different like 3D stories going on all at once as well. Like this could be a movie. This could seriously be a movie. I don't even know how you would put something like this in a movie. It's too weird. It's too many layers. Like, how do you even explain those layers to somebody that's not on this journey? How do you explain those layers? They just can't get it. They're looking at it from a topical level. And they're locked. They're locked in there. Okay, I need to watch my words. I need to watch my words. I need to watch my words. So I take that back. They're not locked in there. How do I say the positive of that? They're doing the best that they can with the tools that they've been given. They're doing what they believe to be true. But still, they're boundaries are being pulled. Their boundaries are being pulled just by what we are going through. And so it's moving them in different ways as well. That's this butterfly effect. That's this butterfly effect. There's layers to it. It's like, I can see it as like an energetic pulse. That, you know, when I'm going through something energetic, my energy is strong, and my beliefs and everything that I'm saying and what I'm doing, and they don't understand it. And so it really moves them out of their comfort zone. But it's like giving off this pulse. But it moves them from their comfort zone because it's also tugging at their beliefs and tugging on their boundaries. And when your inner self sees truth, your inner self knows it, and your outer shell is fighting to stay in place, because it gives this security, it gives this boundaries, it gives, you know, we're all just little kids inside that want to fit in and want to know that we're on the right path, or that we're okay, or that we're doing what we need to be doing, or, you know, trying to make, you know, making our way. And the more we open to lessons, the more intense the life experience becomes, but the more powerful you become, and the life experience becomes, and the more light you are, and the more expansion you bring to the all, the more you make a ripple effect, the more you heal the world, the more you are able to give people peace. You know, the more your life had meaning, the more meaningful your life feels. So imagine a whole bunch of stars, right? And there's a whole bunch of stars in the sky, right? Individual stars. But when two are magnetized together and start this effect, it starts having energy around them. It starts affecting the stars that are around them as well. It's like having this massive catalyst. Catalyst, is that a word? It's like having this massive explosion all of a sudden of two planets being hurled together. And so that there's a ripple effect there. Although with him, he might just be like this big portal, like a big black hole, like that of purifying, because he's gotten to that light life. That sounds so corny. I'm thinking on what I just said, and I'm like, that sounds so corny, but it's true. But it sounds so corny. Like if you would have told me a year ago or 2 years ago that I would be, I wouldn't have been able to understand this at all. This whole thing is just mind-bending. It's mind-bending. You cannot wrap your mind around it. It's like bigger than you. It's like, you know, it's like you can't explain love or you can't explain God. You can't explain it. Anything you try to explain, it's not enough to explain this kind of connection. And I turned this on to record this for me because I was sitting outside and I was thinking that everything that I am saying is coming from through him as like my guide, because everything that I'm going through, I am going through because of this connection. It's like I'm being guided, and as I'm being guided, it's like by the hand of God. It feels like I'm being guided. I'm literally being guided through this, and I feel like like I'm blessed. What is it? It's like kavod. Like privileged, like chosen, like but it feels like once it starts, the spiritual awakening, you cannot stop it. Because to stop is painful. You're stopping on places that are already opened up. It's like your light was already exposed. And as long as you're not standing in your light, because you already know your light, it hurts. But you have to work your way through everything to get, you have to work your way through every single layer of this to get to that core light. And you have to like keep on doing the work with releasing things as you go. It's that outer core, that outer shell has to all go so that you become pure light. And then you're set right. And you're set free. Because when you're in sync, everything around you is in sync with you. And then you can just move around in energy. You can move around in consciousness. And you change your outer first with your inner. You change your inner and it changes your exterior. And then you become you know all of your emotions. You know exactly what your emotions bring. You know that your emotions are energy. You're in control of your emotions because you have gone through them all and you can see them all in others. That means whenever you meet another that is sitting in a specific place, you can see where they're sitting and you can release them and give them comfort and knowing. And in that way, we change the world. And this whole twin flame journey is what is making us rise into our pure light. And that's why it's such a privilege. It makes the spiritual awakening go that much quicker because we have this constant mirror. And that's why we keep on flipping out of touch with each other, because we can't look in that mirror any longer. We have a whole bunch of things that we feel like we have to work on. And we can't have any more mirrors right now. We have to overcome these things to where we get over them and then we can laugh at them. And I feel like that the lessons that I get from him teach me things in different ways than just topically telling me something. You know, you can tell me something and I'll understand it. But to go through it emotionally and understand what it means emotionally and, you know, open that emotion completely up and stretch it into its full, you know, it's like expanding a wing to its full broadness. And then you have, it's like taking air into your lungs till you expand all of your lungs so they air out, so that it becomes vibrant. It's life. You know, you open up all the nooks and crannies. And you do the same thing with your emotions by expanding them. But then to expand them, you have to emotionally feel them. You have to feel the loss. You have to feel the abandonment all the way to the extreme. You have to feel that's why this hurts so bad. But this really, truly allows us to know ourselves intimately, and then we can completely be in our own power, completely control our lives, because we have overcome the emotions. They're not something that can move us out of place, out of our center anymore. Nothing can come in and touch us in a place that we don't already have full control and power in. And then there's this other story that just says, just snap out of it. Just snap out of it. Just go into a different way of thinking. Like you don't, there's like there's so many ways of looking at this. It's like you can see all these different perspectives all at once. And not only all these different perspectives, you can see other people's different perspectives. You can feel their emotion that they have towards, you start being able to feel others' emotions because of how they are, because you know all of the emotions and the vibrations. You connect to their vibration and you can feel what it is. You know exactly what that vibration means, how they're looking at it. You might not always know exactly the picture they have attached to that vibration, but you can get you can get the gist of it. How they're feeling about the situation, if they're feeling easy about it, uneasy about it, if they're being upfront. A lot of times you can see things that they don't even see because you can feel the emotion of it, but they don't even know what that emotion means because themselves haven't processed that emotion yet. But you can pick up on the vibration of that emotion, even if they haven't processed it, felt it completely. There's a vibration to it. So many different layers to this. It's like everything is energy. Everything is energy. And then when you learn energy through your emotions connect you to the vibrations, right? The vibrations and your emotions are connected, and then it's so that's kind of like your portal. It's kind of like your connectivity to your surroundings, your immediate surroundings, right? Because we're always in contact. Even now when like my hand is moving particles, we are in constant, and we are a vibration, and everything around us is like that butterfly effect, right? There's little tiny little, so vibration, there is no gap anywhere. We're all one. There is no gap. And so the vibrations come through. We can feel each other when we come into each other's space. And then there's the energetic field, which if you're connected to somebody, you feel them. You feel their emotions. And if they're coming back to the sexual thing, if when you give your life seed to somebody, or you mix in that way, and it's coming back to sacred sexuality, when you mix with somebody in that way, you are creating like that snail thing. You're creating, and I started being able to feel like this is why I don't take actual intercourse lightly, because it connects you to that other person. You are generating this. Part of you stays with them. I felt this with my last. I could feel it. I could feel them. And so if you're not in sync with this person, and you're not in you are connecting your vibration with this other person's vibration, and you can feel them. And then, you need to choose wisely who you want to, exchange life energy with. And consummation, which is, the act of lovemaking, or when the penis comes in the vagina, is, I feel like a little girl, when, kind of like embarrassed, but it's silly. It's silly. This is education. This is real education. Your energy is combined. And then you are bound to that person in a way. You also your emotions. And if that person is if they just came to use you, you are now emotionally bound to that person. It's like you gave yourself over to that person, and Whether you say you are or you say you're not, there is a connection there. There is some kind of connection, life connection that is. I remember when I did, like with myself, I went into deep meditation and I could feel, and I sent all of the energy that wasn't mine out. It felt like it was going out of my, like uterus. It felt like it was going out of my uterus. And I summoned back all of my, I would say, I don't want to use that word. I want to say my lower chakra, like in my lower stomach, and all their energy, like I sent them back with love, and I summoned all mine back, and I could like energetically see it happening. And I did like the self-cleansing, and it felt so good. It felt so freeing. And I could actually see that I was like sending them back with love. And I could actually see the effect in the physical world, that they let go. They were able to let go. And we continue to be able to be friends. And so I am blessed in that way. And I also kind of wanted it that way because every person that I have brought into my life, there has been a reason why. There was something, there's a reason why I chose to be with them, because of their personalities, because I liked them genuinely as a person first. And I also feel like there's a bond there. There's a bond there. That's a bond that was made. I want that place to be in purity and in love. I don't want the blockage in my life. And I really like the relationships that I have with the people that I have had intimate relationships with. I kind of pride myself and pride myself and them. And that's also, it's like because I pride myself and them. It's kind of funny. I had a little bit of a rough week. I can't even call him my twin anymore. He was over here. When I say he, this is a twin flame. I mean, it's the same thing, because even if he's not my twin flame only, it serves the purpose. It's the exact same connection. I can see through the connection. So, it's the same dynamic exactly, with the, it's like arrows of light being shot through you. And they don't even have to do anything. That's the thing. If the less they do, the more the light shines on you. Because when they try to intentionally do it, they're just getting in the way. Just like when we're trying to intentionally do something, we're just getting in our own way. Because when we are in our true natural state is when we're shining the most light on them. Not when we're trying to shine light on them. Or not when we're chasing them down in the physical world. This journey is so crazy. Oh my goodness, this is so crazy. Oh my goodness. This whole thing is just like surreal. It's surreal. I just feel like almost in awe that I got the privilege to actually experience this in my lifetime, because it doesn't matter. I mean, maybe my mom thinks I'm kind of losing my mind, but to have this experience, even if it is just like, it doesn't matter. The experience is what matters. It doesn't matter what it looks like on the outside. What matters is this experience. This is like, this is like crazy. This is like full-blown roller coaster style. This is like mind-bending. It's like extreme at all the levels. There are every single cell in your being is taken to the extreme maximum. You're being tested in so many ways. It's like the universe. It's like everything that you touch, you're asking yourself questions over. Nothing is taken for granted. Everything means something, because everything you touch, it has purpose in your life when you live in purpose. And when you don't live in purpose, it still has purpose in your life. It's just that you're unaware of it. And it means you're living a sloppy life. And it means that you're living a life where things are, you're putting out different vibrations all over the place and getting back all these results that you didn't want. You know, if you put out the vibration of what you want, not of what you do, because you have to put yourself in alignment to it. That means you have to feel the emotion of what you want and get yourself in alignment with it, and then hold your emotion there, because there's all these other vibrations in that vibration has to come through to get to reach you. So all the other vibrations that you had around your being, they're still there vibrating. So it's really easy to sync up to them. So you really have to hold yourself in this new emotion. You have to really hold it. And the best way to do that is find people that have that emotion and follow them, because you can vibe them, and then you can get that emotion and feel what it feels like, and they can pull you. You know, you can get that vibration from them and hold them as an anchor. And you know what? There's no shame in that. If you need to feel a certain feeling, and you find somebody in the world that can provide that emotion that you want to sync in, as long as you're not taking from them, you know, not pushing your emotion onto them and then all in that way altering their emotion. You know, as long as you come in a way where you can just stand right next to them and feel their vibration without, you have to quiet your vibration in order to receive their vibration. So first you have to become quiet. And I feel like all of these messages that are coming through me, they're coming through me by way of my twin, on purpose or not on purpose. A lot of the lessons are on purpose, but a lot of the lessons are just by him being who he is. And then that is giving me that lesson emotionally, because I can see where I'm out of whack with it. And then I have these realizations and these like downloads, these understandings. So it is coming from, all of these realizations are coming from this journey. I have the weekend alone without my children, and I was all day out just running around all day. I went in the morning, I took the dogs for a walk, and then I got home. I didn't feel like being at home, so I made myself some coffee to go, and I went down to the beach, and I met with my friends, and it was really nice, and we had a really good conversation, and really good conversation. My one friend who lives there on the beach. And he has just this, he's super smart, super sharp. He has this connection to nature. My battery is going, so maybe I'll go get the charger. Oh, it's in there. And he has all of this, like, just spiritual wisdom to him that is just enlightening. Every time I meet with him, he has this he's like the earth. He's like, his vibration is of the earth. It's like, if you want to be grounded really quick to what's really important in life, you know, I mean, to the simplest of means. I mean, like, there, just plug that in. I mean, like, to the birds and the beads and the seed that brings the flower forward. He plants all these plants and knows all these remedies, and he's building this out of clay that he got there at the beach. He's building this nice fire pit and making these designs with seashells. He's like really connected to nature just by his own nature. So it's like, when I meet with him, it's like coming and getting grounded. I get like depleted of all of the, you know, because I'm like on a kite. So it comes down, pulls me back down into, oh yeah, everything is Mother Nature. Everything is ancient. Everything is sacred. Everything has purpose. Everything is in synchronicity with everything else. Everything is one. He like really brings you that ground just by the essence of who he is. He doesn't have to do anything. That's just like what he vibes, what he, you know. So you have friends that, and so he made me some hot cocoa with cinnamon. And I didn't want to stay because I was in so much pain all day. I was running around in pain. And I didn't want to stay because I wanted to keep running. And it's not like I wanted to go anywhere either. I just couldn't sit. And he made hot chocolate. And then he said, maybe I'll just give you a little bit. And I ended up staying. And we drank hot chocolate together. And then we had that really good conversation. I just remember the essence of it. It was just like that, grounding like that. It was just like, and then we hugged each other. And then he always, he says he likes it when I come, and he likes it when I come. So he asked me if maybe I would come back later. Yeah, I haven't been to the beach for a long time. And he said that it's always nice when I come. Maybe I'll come back later. And I said, I don't know, maybe we'll see how I feel. Because I can't like, I'm like not making commitments to things like that, because emotionally I'm so much on this roller coaster, and it just makes pressure for me. And I told him, we'll see how I say. So he said, well, if you come, now it's Hanukkah here. So I said that all the stores have these, like these dough things with it. They're like they're like donuts, but without the holes. And they're more like bready, but they're sweet. And they have jam in the middle. And then they're cooked. Well, first they're cooked in oil, and then afterwards they're shot with like jam. Shot with jam. It's like light arrows shot with a jam. So let me get over it for a second. So So he said, well, if you come back, then bring some of those. So then I went to town, and I found there was parking right in town. So I found a parking spot. So I parked and I went and had a falafel. And I was thinking to myself that I'm making a date for myself. It wasn't chasing. It was taking myself out to have a falafel. And it really wasn't. And then I went to the store to get some glue that I needed, and I just lollygagged around the store a little while. And then I went to the supermarket, and I got a couple of things. Oh, that's where this whole thing, that's where I got that soda from. That's where this whole story started. That's where I got that soda from. I got some soda, and I got some potato chips, and I got, like... And from the other store, I got myself, I really splurged on myself today. I got myself like this notepad to draw in. And I got myself some pencil sharpeners because I've been sharpening with knives. And I got myself the glue that I needed. And I got these little glitter things for making my organites because they're just so pretty. They're just so pretty. And what I figure with the organites anyway is that what is important about the organite is really the energy that is put into it, because it's like taking energy of something. Where's my organite? Anyway, you know my organite. It's like taking the energy of something and putting it into it. You know, there's metals and there's stones and there's, you know, whatever energy the shaman that is making the organite with is the energy that is put into it. And that is what you are getting. You're receiving that energy, that light energy, their life energy, or love. You know, that comes back to anything that you do with love. Anything that you do with love. Did I read that? It says, oh, okay, so I'll read it to you. All life is love. All life comes from love. This was after the snail. After I went for the walk and I saw the snails, and then afterwards I was seeing all the plants, that everything was just like, everything came from ma'asava, from love making, the making of love. And with love, there is a transfer of energy. There is a transfer of life. Right? So it's like the language of the universe is this energy transfer, which is making love. That's what makes life. You make love and it creates more life. So love is life. Life is love. All life is love. That's what I wrote. All life comes from love. You know, that the merging of two things is love making, or it could be collision. But love making is what makes new life. It's what sprouts. It's what makes babies. You know, the making of love. That's where I got into the whole sexual conversation. I'm going to try to stay on course here. All life is love. If I have explanations, I'm going to bring them up. All life comes from love. And then I'm going to connect. And then I'm making another point, and then I'm going to connect. Righteousness is setting yourself right by the universe. Your natural life light comes forth. So when you set yourself right, it's like all of these layers that I've been talking about this whole video. When you set yourself right, your natural life light comes forth. So that's when you become exposed, but exposed in a like expose, like an exposition. Look at me. You know, you become your full life glory, your full life beauty, your purest you. There is no shame in life. It's all a game. It's all an energetic game. You move energy around. And when you understand it, you can manipulate it, and manipulate it in like making love to it. And then you can, if you're a being of love, you make love with the life around you. You know, when you make your food and you make it with love, it tastes better than when you're screaming and yelling making your food. And You know, your vibration goes into that food. How you're feeling is what you put into that food. The caring that you give to it. Well, how much should I put of this? Should I put this much? Or how does it, you know, when you're making it for the ones that you love, you want to put your love into it. You want them to enjoy it. You want to see them enjoying life. You want to give them something that they will make them, you know, happy about. You want to please them. They're the people that you love. You make love to, you know, that's the language of the world. When you love your children, they blossom. You watch them glow. You love them. They're proud of themselves. They're, you know, rather than putting a kid down and telling him all the low points that he's doing, look, put him up. And wow, look at you go. And they're going to rise into that, like, rise into their glory. They're going to feel loved. You know, when a kid feels loved, they can do anything. They're invincible. They're loved. They have love behind them. They have somebody that they can count on that's going to be there for them. Wow, this is getting long. It's like already an hour and a minute. But I'm doing this because it's coming. So righteousness is setting yourself right by the universe. Your natural life light comes forth. Getting yourself in alignment, and a natural, you know, righteousness is setting yourself right by the universe. That means getting yourself in alignment. You're becoming right with the one, becoming right. Your natural life light comes forth. When you're not, then you can just be still and shine. And your shining in itself will reflect. You don't have to do anything. There is no effort in it. That's when you have to stop trying. You have to stop. You have to just let yourself be. And so you have to surrender into it. You have to surrender. You have to just like deplete. There's nothing to prove. Just be. Human beings. Not human doings. Human running aroundings. Human beings. Okay, so righteousness is love. Righteousness is love. So when you do things with love, you're always in love in life, right? If you really do things with every single person in your life through complete love, there can only be a response of love back. And if it's something new, you have to hold that vibration. Hold that vibration of love until they can trust it and they quit fighting back. And then they can surrender into the love. It's love light, right? Righteousness is love. Everything needs to be made with love. That was my whole like, everything that I do, I need to do with love. Everything that I do needs to be done with purpose and with love and with understanding and with appreciation and with knowing how important it is and knowing why it's important and being aware of what it is and watching each and every word that I make and watching the emotions that I allow. And see, there's paradox. Watching the emotions that I allow, but then there's also going through all of your emotions in order to fully know yourself. And then you can take control of your emotions and watch which emotions you allow. Then your emotions don't have control over you. Then you control your emotions. Because otherwise, if you're not willing to feel things, then every time something in the world comes towards you that makes you feel that, you reject it. And it's in a constant state of holding your guard up because you have all these little hurt boxes all over in you that you don't want touched. So you're like holding that outer shell. It could even be like it could even be an offensive outer shell. You're holding it tight. And so you're always in a state of tightness. And what does tightness do? It's also insecurity. You're afraid. You're in fear. Tightness is fear. Fear is tightness. Whereas love is let go and free and open and wide and all accepting and in the now. Everything needs to be made with love. So everything that I do, it needs to have purpose. It needs to be done with love, not just like come in and snap things around and, you know, like do any, you know, if that's something that I know with food, like if the kids aren't feeling it, don't cook. If you're going to be yelling and cooking, don't cook. That's not, there's nothing good comes of that. And I don't want that energy in the food. Yeah, if you're not going to do it from love, don't do it. If you're not doing it because you want to do it and you want to feed everybody, you're doing it because you feel like don't do it. All needs to be done in a state of love. And I was also on this morning's walk, when I was out walking, I was seeing myself as like a separate entity than my body. And I was thinking to myself, wow, I really need to take care of this body, because this body is my vessel. This body is what helps me get around in this 3D world. When this body checks out, I check out. And that means the experience is over. And so I was thinking to myself that I need to be in like real love with this body. I got a cool one, I have to say. I'm really happy with this body. I got a cool one. And, you know, and I've experienced it. I've been obese, I've been thin, I've been insecure of my body, I've been secure of my body. You know, now I feel like every single part of me I earned. You know, it's like, yeah, I'm not embarrassed at my age. I'm 47. Every single year that I went through, I experienced. I earned that year. That's like, you know, there's wisdom gained. What, ashamed of my age? It is what it is. It is, you know, that's what my age is. I earned that age. It's like an earning. And I feel like I'm proud of how old I am, and I'm proud of how young I am. And every single mark, every single part of me has a reason. And every single reason I got real life tools and lessons in. So that's how I know that I can trust, you know, the hardest things I've ever gone through in my life. I came through the other end. You know, I quit smoking tobacco. I quit alcohol. Yeah, in order to quit that, you really have to go through a lot. You have to go through yourself. You have to really be able to make that switch and hold it. You know, it's like, it's also that same vibration. It's like releasing a vibration from you, and you have to allow that vibration to completely dissipate all the way. And it's a vibration that's within you that has already become a part of you. It starts begging you. It's already an entity that you feel that you're one with, you know, that need for the alcohol. And it's like removing this vibration from you. And you could call it a demon, because it's like a vibration of its own that you can take and remove from you. It's like a separate entity. It's like the vibration of the alcohol that you have kind of adopted into yourself. And then to release yourself, you have to change your vibration. You have to and then hold. It's like an empty space in you that is like nagging at you. And what is really assuring is that every day that goes by, it's easier and easier and easier, because that vibration becomes less and less and less. Overall, right? Of course, that's like, there's ups and downs, but overall, you know, it depends a lot on your circumstances and your triggers. There are a lot of triggers along the way that trigger that vibration back, or the absence of it, or however you want to look at it. There's so many paradoxes on this freaking journey. You really have to be on this journey to understand it, the depths of it, the layers of it, the mind bendiness of it, until then, I think that I would have been a naysayer had I not been on this journey. There's so many people that say, oh, it's not real. You guys are, including people all around me, thinking that it's some kind of nutty thing or something. But when you are on this journey, it's like it's undeniable. It's to the depths of the depths. You start seeing these other parallel, it's like parallel existences that are on this earth. It's just seeing different patterns. It's like taking your consciousness and shifting it to this a completely different way of looking at things, or what you even look at, or what you allow in your life. It's like, see how many different layers? I'm talking about vibrations, and then I'm talking about perspectives, and then I'm talking about in the physical realm, and then I'm talking about wavelengths, and then I'm talking about the butterfly effect, and then I'm talking about the twin flame journey, and then I'm talking about, I don't even know, like the layers, and I'm talking about life light, and I'm talking about sacred sexuality, and I'm talking about the light arrows that go through you and break away your outer layers, and I'm talking about the ego and the ego death, and the 3D world and the higher realms. And this is just like, oh my, twilight freaking zone. This is just like, I come into, like, I speak all these things that, it's like they're coming through me. And then, like, I get back into myself and I'm like, oh my goodness, what was that? That is like crazy, but that is what's coming through. Sheesh. And it all makes sense. It's all like, see, that's why this journey is so freaking overwhelming, because these realizations, they're like massive. It's like you're understanding all these other realms, and it's like mind twisting, mind bending. It's like, see, there's the mind level, the vibration level, the spiritual level, the body level, the chakras. What that's like, this is like crazy talk. See, I keep on going back and forth, like, in this, like, this is freaking overwhelming. The enormity of it all, and the knowing that it's real, because you can just see it. You can just see it. It's as plain as day. And then you see all the games that are being played. You see all the games that are being played in humanity. It's like you rise into this level where you can just see. First of all, when you see paradoxes everywhere, paradox is a whole. You're able to see one way and its opposite, and they're both true simultaneously. They're both in existence at the same time. That means that you can see the entire spectrum. You can see the entire picture. Itself and its opposite it's like coming into synchronicity. It's like when you come into synchronicity with yourself, when you come into your light, when you come into your true vibration, whatever you want to call it. When you reach the God level. God level, what is God level? It's your connection to the all. It's connection to everything around you. It's understanding this vibration. It's understanding the energy. It's understanding that you are a part of it all. Then you are in synchronicity with it all. Therefore, you can manipulate it all. You're a part of it all. You are part of it. You can move energy, and the world moves around the energy that you create. You create a vibration, an emotion, and you create an effect around you. You create an effect in the people around you, and you create an effect in the circumstances around you. This is like, okay, this is an hour and 15 minutes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. See, I'm in contact with everything around me. I am thinking everything around me because everything serves a purpose, even if the purpose is just being a push-off point. Even if you get to your depths so that you can push off of there, those depths had to be there. The contrast had to be there in order for you to get the push off. Otherwise, you're just floating lightlessly in outer space, right? You have to have that contrast in order to get that the high point, right? Okay, thank you for watching.